Now, there were some reports going around. Of course, within the state of things that we live in right now, movies are getting delayed all the time and things are getting pushed. And we've seen a couple of examples of higher profile films that made the jump over to streaming. Mulan, one case in point. Of course, we talked ad nauseum about the Mulan situation yesterday, which has actually turned out to be a bit of a disaster. And anyway, some reports started going around yesterday, maybe about 48 hours ago, that Wonder Woman was going to be going straight to streaming. That come December 25th, they would release Wonder Woman in some theaters, but it was also going to go straight to streaming. Now, this wasn't on any of the predominant outlets, like Variety wasn't reporting this, The Hollywood Reporter was not reporting this, The Wrap was not reporting this, Deadline was not reporting this, but it did get birth on one or two sites, and it started making its way around like wildfire. I personally didn't believe it because we weren't seeing that on any of the significant sites, but it was started going around. So what happened is Patty Jenkins actually herself saw that. Now you got to remember, if you go all the way back to DC Fandom, they spoke very directly about Wonder Woman 84 is a theatrical movie. It's a theatrical movie. And even the vice president of Warner Brothers, we talked about on the show a number of weeks ago, saying, no, cannot imagine us ever putting Wonder Woman on streaming before, a proper theatrical release and all that kind of stuff. But, things have been changing day by day during the pandemic. What was impossible 3 days ago becomes possible today. So it got a lot of people's attention when this rumor started going around. But just to put it to bed, Patty Jenkins came out and stomped on it yesterday on her Twitter, where she said direct to streaming is not even being discussed. Like, it's not even a topic of conversation with them. Direct to streaming is not even being discussed. We are still 100% behind the theatrical experience for Wonder Woman 84 and supporting our beloved theater business. So look, obviously, this puts that to rest. This puts that rumor to rest. We are not going to see Wonder Woman 84 going direct to streaming. Or will we? I mean, like I just said, there can be something that is absolute truth right now. And then as circumstances evolve and change, maybe that changes. But at least we can say, as of right now, the rumor is completely false. Patty Jenkins has come out and said, nope, we're not even talking about streaming. So that's a no bueno. We're not going to be doing that, period. Done. And really, it's something we all should have known looking at the Mulan experiment. With Disney trying to take this major tentpole film and put it on a direct-to-streaming thing to try it out, had a number of controversies surrounding it as well, but that turned out to be a financial disaster for them. And now they're doing some pretty stupid things to try to make up for that financial disaster, but we talked about that yesterday. So anyway, Aaron, when you hear this rumor, I mean, you can totally understand why when a rumor like this comes out, it at least appears like you've got to give it some consideration because of the reality of what the pandemic has done theatrically. Mm-hmm. Why do you think so many people took this one seriously? And do you think Patty Jenkins, the director of the film, coming out to address it, do you think that puts it to bed, or do you think people are still going to be talking about this? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think that the fact that people are speculating that it's going to be released on streaming is actually just showing how much enthusiasm there is for this movie.
That's
that
true.
People want to see this movie as soon as possible. And so I think that, you speak it into existence, so to say. And with the idea of, maybe if we keep talking about how this is going to come out on streaming, then the studio or the powers that be will get so excited about how many people want to see this movie as soon as possible, they'll just go ahead and do it. That being said, I agree with you. The Mulan experiment has taught a lot of people a lot of lessons, as well as Tenet, coming out in theaters and not doing as well as people were hoping to do. Realizing that people are not going back to the theaters in the way that maybe some had hoped. And I, for one, am happy that they are sticking with their theatrical release and not releasing it too soon. Yes, I want to see Wonder Woman 84. Absolutely. If it were streaming tomorrow, I would 100% pay the $30 or whatever they would want to charge, because I do want to see this film very much. However, I appreciate the fact that they're going with the original intent of the film, which was to be seen on a screen. And I'm glad that Patty Jenkins shut it down. I don't think that that's something that's going to change, though. I think that if we are still in the state that we are in right now. If we are here a year from now, God forbid, then that might be a different discussion, but I don't see that happening. And so I think that the rumors are just that, wishful thinking. But again, that just goes to show you how much enthusiasm there is for this film and how many people want to see it yesterday.
Yeah, and count me as one of them.
Same.
Like, as long as Patty Jenkins is involved in doing it, I'm all on board, and
Yep.
this is great. But yeah, this is going to be, unless something massively changes or shifts, this is not a movie that they're going to put out, especially after seeing what happened with Disney and Mulan. That like, if there was any thought, and they've always said all along there wasn't, but if there had been any thought, I think those thoughts are done.
Yeah, Mulan could have changed the entire industry.
Yeah.
If Mulan had done really well, I think that as terrified as the film industry, as the theater business is right now, it would have been obliterated.
Oh yeah, it would have changed everything. You would have seen every studio starting to shifting their movies, but it is what it is. But again, guys, this is a changing situation, right? The pandemic is causing things to wrap. What was absolutely going to happen a few days ago absolutely isn't today. What was impossible before is possible now. So let's keep our eyes on it. But as of right now, Wonder Woman is not going straight to streaming in any way, shape, or form. All right, guys.